so you're going to be live. Because we don't really care. Anyway, you're fun. You know what's weird too is like what you're just talking about. It's kind of true. There is a level of boom. Look at that.
Welcome. No.
Let's go to camera 3. Oh man. Anyway, check your mic. See if it comes in.
Yep.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Guess who it is today?
We're here.
We're here. We got Gary.
Been talking about some super important stuff.
We're not talking about anything, but we want to welcome. What's a great podcast that you listen to? What's something that you listen to?
So, probably the number one podcast that I actually get the most out of is Sober Voyager.
The Sober Voyager podcast. I've heard of that.
Super popular.
Super popular.
I mean, it's non-stop. It seems to be almost like running through my feed nonstop.
Kind of nonstop. It's like I know we
thought it used to be on a schedule, but no. Now I turn on the feed.
Well,
and there
we were
he
trying
is,
to
talking to somebody.
I think somehow I'm gonna just go ahead and put my feet up like this and put it in there because look.
Somewhere, somehow.
Oh, look at that! You guys, look at the bottom of my feet. You should put your feet up like that too. And hey, I'm hoping right now. Let me get my phone out. Maybe that might. You know what? Take that one down. Just take that down. You know what's funny is I wonder what people must think. There's so many professional podcasts out there, and then there's us, right?
What?
And we're like the most. Yeah, there you go, just like that. All right. Oh man.
Long day.
It's a long day.
It's a long day.
Okay, so we got our mics out here. So you came over to because you know what's great is that look at your shoes. Where you been walking? Look how dirty his shoes are. Can you guys see that?
My dog for a walk.
You took your dog for a walk?
That's what I do. Basically, my life.
What do you do every day?
I walk my dog over and over and over again. Her and I are super tight. Then I come over to your place to see your dogs.
You see our dogs, huh? Gus, the healing hound, was here today. Yesterday we had Theo. I don't know what Theo's tagline is.
I don't know.
But he's super cute, huh?
I'm wondering if we should go get him again, Gus.
Gus? We could get Gus. Maybe, hey, Steven, can you hear? If Steven is out there watching the podcast, stick your head in the door. Because we only have a couple people watching the podcast.
See the dirt on my shoes on the camera. So
look at this right here. Look, check that out. Hey, how's the lighting? Looks pretty good. And my hair looking pretty tight. How's Gary's hair? Oh, wait a minute. Let's get Gary's camera tuned in on him. He's on the wrong track. All right, Gary, tell us something.
About, let's see. Oh, there's a good. Let's see. Which is my good side?
Wait a minute. Let me pull the camera. There's Gary's left foot. How's that?
Wait, left side?
All right, just like that.
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
Tilt it down. Oh, there you go.
How's that?
Is that the good side?
Go right about there or what?
Yeah, I think that's.
All right.
Oh, perfect.
No, that's your belly now. We got too much belly.
I don't get the belly. Perfect.
Yeah, we live in a digital age where if you have we get to just goof off.
That's all we're doing. So basically what we do anyway, we're just recording it.
That mic is weird, isn't it? Is there another mic place to put that? Here, let's go like that. Put that right here in this hole.
This is when I turn off your podcast, when you start doing this.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, we were just 1 second ago. We were talking about the birth of the universe, and then you're like, well, let's record this, and then you start doing this, and now we forgot what we were talking about.
Oh, yeah, we could talk about a lot of cool stuff.
The birth.
We could talk about politics.
The birth of the universe. So,
all right.
The original, as you were saying right before we turned this on, you were telling me about the, what was it you were saying about what was it? Talk again about the destructive force of the large gravitational pull that basically exploded. Was it exploded in upon itself? That was the original Big Bang you were talking about?
Big Bang Theory.
Was it the internal explosion? Go ahead with what you're talking about.
Okay, so let's do this. Instead of doing that, I got another idea. Let's kind of go over something. You know, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, the most funnest part about the journey of recovery is like how you, well, wait a minute. I had a document here I was going to go over. Like the hope, the stories of transformation. That's kind of like what it's always about. Earlier, like you were talking about something. Today you were talking about, you know, the Course in Miracles, right?
Yeah.
What do you know about the Course in Miracles? What is that book to you? I mean, how? Remember, did we start that, or was it me and Mike did that?
You started it as well.
Yeah. But like all things I start, I don't finish very well.
Yeah, but you were sharing this morning okay, this is a good topic because you were sharing this morning in the meeting.
Yeah.
At the speaker meeting. Oh, well, it wasn't. Was it a speaker meeting?
Only after I started.
Okay, because yeah, that's right. That wasn't a speaker meeting.
It wasn't a speaker meeting, but
you were sharing.
I always get turned into one.
You were sharing about forgiving yourself.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. I was like kind of going over the process, working through the steps, and realizing after so much, I've been sober for 20 years, and I really believe sometimes that as much as I want to believe that I've got some idea of how this program works and the things it has done for me through working the steps, going through, the 4-step inventory, doing a 5th-step inventory, kind of processing all this, life events that happen to us that would generally cause me to kind of either relapse or go into some kind of, I don't know what you call it when you kind of, you kind of regress back into like worry, fear, regret, stuff like that. And what I've discovered, I've been in a place of worry, fear, regret over just some of life on life things that have happened to me over the last like 2 years. And a lot of that. Some
examples?
Well, obviously, my divorce was probably the main thing that kind of worry, fear, and regret and resentment and all those things kind of resurfaced again, and trying to, like, I guess, cope with some of that stuff has been, a lot of people, are challenged by that. And I guess I'm no different, I mean, I want to pretend like I've overcome or have dealt with and, want to say that I've processed and done the work. And I think I'm really just now starting to recognize that as being a pattern in my life that's taken place over the last 59 years, where this inability to forgive myself for my behavior and the things that I've done, because I feel sometimes that as much as I want to pretend like I have done this work and done the steps, I feel like I'm just barely hanging on by a thread sometimes. But what I've in the process of doing it, I came to this conclusion that it had to do with me not really ever forgiving myself in the past. So what happens is all I do is look for, the steps are always one of the, I always talk about how beautiful, and we were talking about, the steps that frees you from this, that, and the other. But there's another flaw in the steps. And that flaw for me has been that I think the flaw is sometimes I take too much responsibility for my part in it. When it says we're looking for where were we at fault, what should we have done instead? I think it's some cases that seems like a flaw to me, because then I'm only focusing on what I did, and then that's where that worry, fear, and regret comes in, because as much as you're supposed to let that go and give it to God, there is a lingering this thoughts that just kind of go around in my head about what I didn't do, what I could have done better. And that's where the worry, fear, regret, remorse comes in, I guess. And so my thing that I was sharing about was that how, I had to really try to help me overcome it. What I'm doing right now is I'm going back to that journaling process where it was like more of a conversation with God, expressing my fear, my worry, my regret. I guess those are my 3 buzzwords for the day, right? As it relates to, specifically the divorce, and that's just the truth. If I had to be real about everything, I think that's kind of the only big thing that has happened to me. And so that's me not forgiving myself for that. I think the fault that I find with AA and 12 steps is that maybe I'm thinking too much about what I did wrong. I don't even know. You know what I mean? So that's the part that right? You get what I'm saying? Did that make sense? Well, it's kind of being like, I'm trying to be as real as I can.
I know, and it's great.
You're kind of tripping on me?
No,
you're looking at me like, fuck, what's he even saying?
No, I totally know what you're saying, and it's like, this is like, okay, great. Like, do it live on Facebook. Perfect for you. It's vulnerable. And I'm like, that's right. I'm not super interested in getting super vulnerable on Facebook like you're just doing right now. And then I'm like, oh, now this is all serious. And it's like, we're going to have a real conversation, which I told you I didn't want to do.
Okay,
So,
well, we
okay,
can-
but,
hey, well,
but you know what?
Hey, if you want to talk about politics,
no,
we
this
can
is
do
your
that.
stuff. I'm okay. I'm
Well, we were
comfortable.
talking about that. It's like,
No,
hey,
you
it's like
just-
recovery.
Dude, you just fucking basically laid it all out there. So I'm going to participate with you.
Yeah.
It's not my vulnerability.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to do it, then why am I not willing to do it? So, and I don't have anything at stake here except all the stuff that you're talking about as far as AA goes, which my background I could jump on board in any complimenting it or destroying it, whatever you want. But I do think I did find it fascinating because, and since you brought it up, I brought it up, you brought it up, whatever, that essentially you had to forgive yourself. And after the meeting this morning, I said, that's the Course in Miracles. And so, like, if it doesn't fit, like Alcoholics Anonymous allows us a open philosophy to buy into whatever practice we choose to engage in that will enlarge our spiritual life, whatever that means. And I think both you and I agree what that means is I can be okay in uncomfortable situations. Like I can be okay in the midst of a divorce to be able to just participate with everybody involved and not create wreckage. And if wreckage was created and I did it, maybe there's what feels like a level of forgiveness, but that's been my whole life. Create wreckage, try to fix it, get better. Why does it keep happening? Which you keep talking like a pattern. Oh, there's a pattern. And who's actually doing the pattern? Is there a me that participates in the pattern, or is it just a pattern and I just watch it? Course in Miracles would say it's just what's happening. And you allow it to be and you forgive both sides of it, whether it's the judgment of it disappears. It's very esoteric.
Well, getting back to that thing about being like vulnerable and stuff like that, I think that vulnerability makes for good, like for us to be able to talk, like what you were just talking about. It's a good platform or a good foundation for getting conversations going, because it's kind of real stuff. I mean, I really am going through that, and that's why I'm actually doing the journaling right now, because it's an important part of what I've found out to be the most healing thing I can do, because otherwise I'm sitting in it, you know what I mean? And I don't want to sit in the pain and regret and the what ifs and what I should have done. I want to get relief. And, one of the other side, I was talking about the flaws of the step was that, I'm always looking for my part in it. And
we got a caller calling in.
We got a caller calling in right now, everybody. Hold on a second. Let me go get that. We haven't had that.
Probably the solution.
Yeah, we got somebody like that's what we want.
Where'd the producer go?
Oh,
Did he want to get coffee for us?
Hello, it's Rich at Source Recovery. How can I help you? So anyway, so getting vulnerable. Getting vulnerable is the key. I think, and it's just it's something that I think working through stuff, kind of just like having like a platform to do that. Maybe there's somebody out there that might be going through the same thing too. That's kind of like what Alcoholics Anonymous is. The reading today was about sharing our stories, and being vulnerable is about sharing our stories. And sometimes I hate coming onto this on the Sober Voyager podcast and actually talking about AA and stuff like that and 12 steps, but it is such a big part of our lives, right? What are you looking at?
Well, I'm trying to figure out which camera's actually looking at me.
Okay, so if you look at the program,
I think somebody should call in.
Your camera
somebody's
too.
Thinking that they have the answer, because there's so many people out there. Out of all the people, the people out there watching, somebody could call in with the solution to your problem. Oh, they can't. They're literally coming to the door.
That's my mom.
Your mom has the solution to the problem. It really does. So it goes. This goes back to your mom. She's going to solve this for you.
Yeah, she's actually
probably.
So my mom is she has a PhD, she has a doctorate in theology, and so she's running spirituality groups at the treatment center on Thursday.
Dang.
Yeah, and so what's crazy?
Do you sit in on them?
Huh?
Are you sitting in on
I
them?
don't sit in on them because I think I
think
probably need
it's
to,
probably
but
the
yeah, so
solution.
she's got her doctorate in theology and she's a retired pastor. And so like over the, I think it was about maybe, I don't know, like a month ago, she came and just was she was here to have lunch, going matsu. Yeah. And so I don't know how it came up, but she was explaining, she was talking to the guys out there and they asked her, and she told her what, I think, she just mentioned that she was a retired pastor, and they go, oh, let's do a Bible study. So they did a Bible study, and they all loved it. Apparently, they just all loved the Bible study. So it's really a spirituality group, but because she has her doctorate in theology. That's something that's her expertise. And so then I went in there. I go, okay, how was the group? I'm thinking it was dumb and lame, and their first response was, "It's better in your group."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So I was not really happy about that, to be honest. But I want my groups to be the best.
That's kind of another pattern that we see
What
in your life
in my life? Yeah,
Yeah.
the pattern of.
super average group.
So
super
yeah,
average.
Course in Miracles. Okay, what is a Course in Miracles? Let's talk about that. That's a good thing.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. It's a good
Maybe.
thing. I don't know, because it's just talking about it is the depth of it is. I don't know. I don't know that there's anything to understand in the Course in Miracles. It's just in moments. It's like what's really going on, and a lot of people refer to Course in Miracles, but then like what does that look like? And it really doesn't. The Course in Miracles doesn't look like anything designed to change anything in your life. That's not really what it is, which is why it's weird, because it's about basically everything being false structure of the ego, false structure of the ego, and the initial pain of the guilt that you're feeling when you judge yourself that you need to forgive is the initial guilt of being separate from Source. That's the Course in Miracles. So it always projects out so that you re-experience that over and over again.
Ooh, I went on ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT. Does anybody use ChatGPT? Do you even use it at all?
I do.
You do?
In fact, yeah.
You
I can't
use-
wait till we can just tap right into it. That way I won't share anything. It'll come right through ChatGPT. There will be no me.
There will be no. You'll just be like, it's already kind of. That's the way it is now.
It is. It's just
They're
it
really-
comes from a programmed past. It's just that not ChatGPT. It's whatever other program past. Yeah.
So one of the first thing is the text, the workbook for students, and manual for teachers. The central message of A Course in Miracles is that the world we perceive is an illusion created by the ego, and true reality is only found in God's love. It teaches that miracles are shifts in perception from fear to love, and through forgiveness, we can awaken to our true divine natures. That's pretty cool. What do you think about that?
Wow.
Should I read it again?
Yeah, maybe read it again. I wonder.
I'm going to read it again.
Oh, wait. What did I just say about it?
You said something very close to that. I mean, we could go back and look at the feed, but I mean, what you said was pretty close. The central message of ACIM, A Course in Miracles, is that the world we perceive is an illusion created by the ego, and true reality is only found in God's love. It teaches, and that's the sentence that I would go, let's go back and read that. It says that the world we perceive is an illusion created by ego, and true reality is only found in God's love. If it teaches that miracles are shifts in perception from fear to love, and through forgiveness, we can awaken to our true divine natures. Remember, you were talking at the meeting, and I was expressing that, and I told you about the act of forgiving myself, and you said to me, "You go, what? That's A Course in Miracles." That's what you said.
That's because that's what you said that you needed to do, and it's like, well, that's what the Course in Miracles says. So I wonder then if maybe you should try it again. What did you try before? Do you remember the first course in the Course in Miracles? Because the mind doesn't understand it.
Yeah, well, it was about disassociating yourself from thought,
It's basically like everything I see here is.
You train. It's about training your
it's not
mind to. It's basically, yeah, you're saying kind of a set of phrases
illusion.
to help you disassociate from.
Well, and obviously it's 365 days, so it's a course of a year. The preface says something like, "Just do it. Don't think about it. It's not something. You're just doing these actions, and it gives you actions that you're going to do each day. They're little whatever lessons, and then you practice them for a little bit of time. And over the course of the year, it's not about changing this reality. It's about seeing what the real reality is. And I think Eckhart Tolle says, yeah, if I was going to ever, which he's my number one fan, would be if I was going to ever recommend any kind of spiritual teaching, I might, because his teaching isn't about teaching, about presence, would be Course in Miracles, but it would be the first 10. The first 10. You don't need to do all 365, but it gets super complicated. I participate on a group on Facebook with this guy named Keith, I've had these experiences through this that I'm like, what the fuck? And when that happens, when that happens is when I go, I don't know what's going on. And when I say I don't know what's going on, it's like, neither does anybody else. Nobody knows what's going on. That matches the Course in Miracles. And then I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm going to do a program that I don't know what's going on. I can't really tell any results, and nobody else really knows either. That sounds ludicrous, but that's, to me, been my experience with the Course in Miracles.
What about the part where it says that it's
what
about
part? What are you looking at? You're like, oh,
I just chat GPT'd it because I was thinking about, because it just makes so much sense
the part.
Where it says this, it says that it teaches that miracles are shifts in perception from fear to love. So now let's kind of break that down a little bit. Let's not get into the whole workbook, but let's just talk about this for a second. Miracles taking place in our lives that shift our perception from fear to love. So what's an example for you of some incident that's happened that you would kind of, I guess you would define as a miracle that took place in your life, and it in turn changed the way you looked at something, and so you went from a state of like fear to a state of acceptance, a state of love?
Okay, so that's good, because the reason why you turned this podcast on was the statement that I was making to you, right? And you're like,
that's right.
Let's put this. I was just having a conversation with Rich about a personal experience, about my experience with love, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what I said. Anyway,
well,
you
were talking about.
Then you started putting this all on, and it's because I think it was what I was sharing that I had an experience where my mom showed me what love was after she died, right?
Right.
And so what that was I was having thoughts about my mom that now she's gone, and I miss her, and it was like the amount that I was missing her. The story was extreme, that I just started bawling, and as I leaned into that, it kind of just became just tears. And as I let go of the story that I miss my mom, I just felt the love that my mom existed, whether she existed as a memory of the story or existed in that moment. It was just love in that moment. And I realized this is how love works. This is how the love from my mom works. This is how the love from anything works. It's felt as, if I took a story to it, the story would make it a negative thing of like, sadness and loss. But in that moment, I just felt all this love from my mom. And then I felt all this love that arose from my dad, who had also passed. And it was like, well, this is what love is. This is what our parents offer us, and it was like, that was a profound experience. It was almost the love that I wished I gotten from my mom when I was younger. And she even claimed that she didn't. I think, whatever, I'm not going to get into that because I'm not huge on that stuff, but it was like, this is the love. And that, I think, is the miracle that the Course in Miracles talks about, a shift that goes from this fear of my mom not loving me, to just love.
Wow, that's pretty heavy. That was
I
good.
know, huh?
That was really good.
It's profound.
Yeah, that was very profound. But
very
profound.
And it was my experience. And
yeah.
It was my experience. And it was like, and now even now when I talk about it, I know I can feel the existence of that love, not as something that I felt for my mom when I was a child, but something that exists in me now.
So that's I think that's the awakening then.
I don't know what it is.
Well, I mean, that's what they call it, right? There's an awakening that's taking place.
But I can be like, whatever that is, I'm cool with. Whatever that is. Anything that wants to change me to be that, I'm down for. Whether it's AA, Course in Miracles, whatever it is. And whenever I can feel that in an AA meeting, I'm like, there it is. If I can feel that in my relationships, there it is. It's like, okay, so it's a little bit of like, and I almost think the less I think, the more I experience that. Like the less I get caught up in concepts, stories in my mind, and just be present with people. Like, I'll tell you this, I felt a subtle glimpse of it as I stopped my thinking while you were sharing about this experience that you're having or you had with your divorce. And I think it's a similar thing. loss of love, according to your story, but it was love that existed between you. It was there. And so then it's like the loss of that. But is it really lost because you're kind of missing it?
Do you know Diana?
Diane?
Yeah. She owns Faith Recovery.
She's calling in she's on the program.
She's probably not, but I'm thinking too. Like if I had the other control over here, it's like I would like do that in and get some, because this thing Bluetooths into the system, so you can actually Bluetooth somebody in and get them on the show.
And you don't have the buttons right there.
And I don't have that button for that. I haven't figured out how to do that. See, look, you can put that little thing. See how that popped up there?
No, where did it pop up?
See right there? And then let's see if they call. Like, so I'll put this number up here.
Oh, okay.
So like I'll put the number on there.
Get somebody to call. Diane, try calling.
Try calling back. Let me see if it works.
Somebody has to call now for us to know that there's actually been a call called in. That would be cool.
Okay, yeah, but I've tried that before, and then I did get a call from somebody though.
But it wasn't.
It was. It was a client.
I think I tried to call once.
You probably did, and so like I don't usually have my phone in front of me, but I'm putting my phone out here right now.
I text you during the program telling you what to do.
Yeah, I know. That's good. No, because it's hard for me to try to. Oops. Oh, look. Hey.
Oh, what's that?
I'm the only one watching my own show.
That's cool. Nobody's gonna call in because
nobody's calling in because I'm the only one watching.
That's all right.
Like that's okay.
We didn't really do this for.
I didn't really do it for that. We're just having fun.
This problem of self-forgiveness.
Self-forgiveness. Let's talk about it a little bit more.
We might need your mom in here.
We might need a little bit of God, I guess you could say. What do you think? Need God trust. So what else? You're gonna go surfing?
I'm gonna go surfing.
Yeah. So I think we'll. You know what? I'm gonna try to do something right now. So, I'm gonna try to say, hey, listen, go over to the Sober Voyager podcast because I'm gonna clip it from. It's on Facebook right now, and people are really, ugh. So I'll clip it from Facebook right now, but I'm gonna keep it running live on YouTube. So
like in loop,
like kind of like not live, but like, hey, so like, look. See, I have this thing made, but it's not Wednesdays every 11. I just like to play with it. It's like kind of fun just to play around and stuff. Look, that's kind of a fun thing, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It looks fun. You can just put that up there. The sober, go on YouTube. The reason I brought that up, I'm going to cut us off on Facebook in 15 seconds or 20 seconds, and then go to the youtube.com Sober Voyager, and then you could do that. And then do this too, like, subscribe, and share. We need more subscribers. But, it's just kind of like for fun and for free, so to speak, right? So join us on YouTube. I'll go like this. Join us over on YouTube. Follow this link, whatever, sobervoyager.com. Not Wednesday, just whenever I come online, because I can't ever seem to keep my schedule consistent. But that's the story of my life.
That's the story. That's the story. No, I'm going to go surf. So we're going to end the story. I'm going to go surf. It was just... That's good.
That was fun. But yeah,
we didn't. So what? We didn't really solve your problem.
My biggest problem is like I am going through this phase of like dealing with my divorce still. It's fucking. I'm dealing with it though, and that's important, I guess. Yeah. Because I can't. It's like it was a part of me. I don't know how else to process it.
Yeah, no, I
don't. Whatever. People probably tired of hearing me talk about it, but if I don't, I don't want to. I don't know. I don't really give a fuck. But
I don't know that. I think that it's when you pretend that nothing happened that's when it's like, what's really going on?
Yeah,
it was
right.
A period of your time, and you lost, and it was a loss. And then whenever you feel a loss, it's like, okay, well,
I know.
Am I going to deal with it, or am I going to pretend it didn't happen?
Exactly.
And then pretending it doesn't happen, then it comes out sideways, or you have to do it again in life, or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Or you go. I don't even know either. I know that I'm like don't want to keep doing it again.
Right.
And so I guess in the end, that's the part where I'm at right now is like trying to figure out how not to do it again.
Not to create pain.
Not to create pain. And
in my life or other people's
life. And that's the most important part is like now I'm just trying to figure out. And I really like this. It's funny. I'm glad we talked about A Course in Miracles today. I'm glad you brought that up. It came up because I think that's something that needed to come up for me. Because it says right here, it's like through forgiveness. It says
it is forgiveness.
It's through forgiveness.
Forgiveness of the egoic thought. It's the thought, the self that's forgiven.
Well, it's
for
through.
separation.
It says through forgiveness. So it's like the idea is that the miracles are shifts in perception from fear to love, and then it says, and through forgiveness we can awaken to our true divine nature. So it's all about forgiveness, kind of. You know what I mean? And so I have a lot to forgive myself and to be forgiven for. I think that's kind of like my thing. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
Who knows? But I know that my ego plays such a huge part in my.
If you want to participate in that, I'll send you the link to this thing that I do every week. That I had those experiences with. Like it wasn't like the experiences I've had with the Course in Miracles. Doing this deal with this guy Keith wasn't just conceptual. Like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
It was in the midst of the thing. He goes through it goes through this stuff, and it's like it creates the experience inside of myself.
Hey, you look good on camera. Looking pretty good. Shaved, looking good. So,
your hair out a little bit.
Mine? I have to grow it out longer?
No, I said you did from last time.
No way. I just cut it yesterday. 2 days ago, I got a haircut.
Oh.
It's looking shabby.
Just kidding.
I got some gel in it and everything.
I didn't comb my hair.
So what other things can you enlighten us on? That was pretty good stuff.
God, I got so much stuff. I just don't know what to do.
I know you got your brain is full of stuff. I know.
And the solution for that to clear my brain of all this stuff.
Yeah.
Go surf.
Go surf.
That's probably the most profound.
That's the most profound thing.
Are you going to go surf?
Not today. I've been like totally. I surfed last week. I got one wave, and it was the worst. I mean, I could barely paddle. It seemed like the water's cold. I got a 4.3 on. It was kind of just a bummer. I'm going to Hawaii on Saturday, so I'll be out there. So I'll get a little warm water and I'll surf. I'm gonna surf every day while I'm there for sure. I got some family stuff we're taking care of over there.
Okay, well, I'll expect to see.
I'll take a GoPro. I'll go do the GoPro.
I'm not sure if you really will.
I'm going to. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to go there, go to the.
Going? What part? When?
Well, I'm going to go to. I'll be in town, Honolulu. Yeah.
So you're going to surf?
Kaiser's, Waikiki, right there. Yeah. I'm not going to surf the North Shore. I went there the other day. When I was there, my friend was on the North Shore. He took me out. I almost died. He totally crazy. You could ask Paul. Yeah. You know Paul Rivera?
I'm not sure if I know.
You would know him. He's been. Yeah, he's got this. Yeah, it was during the AA convention, and he went to the North Shore with me, and he watched the whole thing. He thought I was going to die. I paddled out on a soft top right out in front of right North Shore, like on a pumping day on a soft top.
But
and really
I haven't been there. Is it the kind though where you can kind of paddle around? It looks to me like you can almost kind of.
We paddled straight into it. My friend just totally tortured me.
He just wanted you to get the experience.
He just wanted me to get smoked, is what he wanted me to get. Like, I was thinking, this is dumb. I should have took a smaller board. He didn't really have any good boards. He was like all soft tops. He's like soft top guy trying to be like JB.
3 to 4?
No, it was like, dude, I swear to God, it was big. I bet there's pictures of it.
No, really, how big was it? If you did that, what would you if they were going to forecast it? What would you say?
Well, 3 to 4, like Hawaiian style, but it felt like 6 to 8 to me. It was like the most. I felt like I was gonna. When I got out of the water, I felt your breathing, your adrenaline gets so going so gnarly. It's crazy. The the adrenaline rush you get from paddling out in that type of environment is so intense that it just takes literally took my breath away. It was crazy.
So you're not going to be surfing
there. No. But you know what it was? Hey, I'll tell you what. Well, you know what? It felt really good.
2, just little rollers, and North Shore's. Is it? And they're on the opposite side of the island, right?
Yeah, opposite side. Yeah, North Shore. Waikiki is the east side.
South.
East.
West. North.
Well.
Or northwest.
South. It's just the south side of the island. Because the east side is like Kaneohe, and the west side is like Eva Beach
Sunset. Where's Sunset? Is it
North Shore. Yeah.
So we'll expect then some video.
We'll expect some video. All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, what are you going to do? You're going to go surf. Okay, go get some waves.
I'm going to go surf, and thanks for we have to record.
Hey, thanks for letting me open up a little bit and share a little bit about what's going on, get vulnerable. And that's weird. That's weird because that kind of helps me absolutely process what I'm going through. because it was about, it's all my lack of forgiveness has to do specifically with that topic matter. You know, because rather than that, I don't really have anything else. My life has been so good for the last 20 years.
Right. You know, you're right. And you got to have some of that in there to recognize you're alive.
I know, exactly. And I didn't want, I mean, at the end of the day, it's weird. It's like a crazy thing to go through all that and then come out the other side. But it's rough. Like, life is always about like forgiving others and forgiving ourselves, I think.
You know, and if it's not, it's as good of definition as like I've seen. If that's what it's really not about, that's okay. I'm okay with calling it that.
Yeah, because it could be about helping other people. Yeah. I think at the end of the month, I'm going to speak at a meeting and talk about Tradition 5, which is...
think you'll be able to speak the whole time?
Huh?
The whole meeting?
It's your speak for... Yeah, I can fill the whole meeting, Gary, for sure. It's Tradition 5. You know, what is Tradition 5? Something about our primary purpose is to help other people who are suffering. Oh, for our group purpose, there is but one primary purpose, or how does that go? Is to carry the message to other people who are still suffering. I think that's Tradition 5.
Or
something like that. So I'm just going to do that. Yeah. Yeah, I'll share something. I'll just make it up. Just kind of like even now. Just make it up as you go along.
That's all anybody's doing.
That's all we do.
Hey,
like, all right. You don't want to leave. You still want to talk. I can tell. Well, do you want to have a closing? All right, everybody. Everybody say goodbye to Gary. He's leaving. We want to thank him for coming out to the show. And no, that's Gus, the Healing Hound. He's going to go talk to Gus, and I'm going to just sit here and look stupid, talk to myself. And Gary's just laughing at me. So anyway, hey, that's one more episode down. We don't really have much going on today. We're just goofing off and just taking advantage of the opportunities that we have as a result of having an outpatient treatment center, a residential detox. Like, listen, one of the things I think that's most important is I want to go out on the, I guess you could say, social media platform and introduce our treatment center, our outpatient center, our sober livings, our inpatient, our detox. And most importantly, what I want to do is I want to kind of go out there and introduce everybody to the action and the activities that we do and what we're doing in treatment here. So stay tuned for that, because we're going to drop some videos, and we're going to drop some, I guess you could say, some more content as it relates to that. So just kind of hang out, stay tuned, and we'll talk to you guys later. All right. Have a great rest of the day. And yeah, we'll see you later.